Hey.
Hey.
Welcome to Mimosas with Mickey. We are so excited for today's episode. First of all, it's a topic I'm excited about. But secondly, we have a guest host for the first time ever.
I know, right?
It is our friend and my boss.
Which is really weird
No
that
pressure.
you can have both.
Mr. Tim Pratte is here to talk to us about a special
All right,
topic.
Come on, what's the cheer thing over there, Ray?
Woo!
Professor
Applause.
Reagan, I think
Do we have applause?
applause.
No, we don't. No, we don't have sound
Our
effects.
soundboard is
We're
broken.
low rent. Anyway, we're
my
here to talk
God.
today about being an annual pass holder.
I told you that's what we're
and
gonna do.
being a DVC member. So with that,
we have questions.
Let's get this started.
Let's get started.
Let's get this started
How do we do that?
by opening the champagne.
What's your name?
I'm Ruthie. That's Mike. That's Tim.
And that's Tim.
And producer Reagan.
Producer Reagan.
And let's get started.
Let's get started.
Let's
Okay.
go. Come on. You're better than this.
You really can't say that. Especially where I'm holding it. 3,
2.
2. Okay. Stupid thing. 1.
Opa! All right. Pour the drinks. Here we go. All
This is
right.
pretty good. We may need another bottle by the end of this one.
All right. So while Mike is getting those poured, we're going to get started.
It's
So,
done.
Tim,
Yes,
you live in Florida,
I do.
which is
yes.
why this makes a lot of sense, first of all. So let's talk first about being an annual pass holder. How
Okay.
long have you had an annual pass? And tell us about how that works.
Oh gosh, I've been an annual pass holder for more than 25 years of my life, but not consecutively.
Okay.
So I met my wife in 2006, and the very next year we got annual pass holders, and I don't think we've missed a year since then. So I was very fortunate that I had a love for Disney, and she had a love for Disney, and when that happens, there's sparks, and we haven't talked about it being the annual pass holder yet. So, but
The spark's there too.
But you're
Especially
not-
if you don't use lube.
But you
I'm
don't.
just saying.
But you don't
people,
live in
don't judge.
Orlando.
I do not. No, I live about 2 hours from Disney.
Okay.
For
But it's
most-
Florida, right? So
Right.
you told me that it's cheaper
It is cheaper in Florida,
in
right?
Florida,
It
being
is
in
a little
state.
cheaper in Florida. For a few years, we moved to Houston, and
Do they count that as out of state if you
They sure
still had
do.
a driver's license change,
So,
or how do they do that?
well, it does count. So
Okay.
they're. I don't know if I should give away the tricks, but you go and get a
Give away the
duplicate driver's
tricks.
license before you move out of state, because you then have to surrender your driver's license when you go get your new driver's license.
Right.
But you have an alternative, a copy of your first license. So when you renew your pass and you show up to get it, you
Absolutely.
show that you have Florida residency.
Ah.
So
Tricks of
we
the trade right there.
That's a,
I see.
Yeah.
Particularly if you ever intend on moving back to Florida, like then it becomes
Right.
really easy. And
Okay.
we always had the intent that even though we left Florida for a few years, we were always coming back.
Gotcha.
Even though let's just say, even though you were in Houston, you always planned on using the pass to make it worth your while to have it, even though you were in Houston getting back, right?
We used it at least 3 times a year.
Okay, there you go.
Even
And-
when you're in Houston.
Yes.
Okay.
and so is that the magic number? Because we were talking about this on us getting a pass.
Yeah. 3 times a year, I think if you're out of state,
I
3
think it
times a
is.
year makes it.
My cousin just got her first annual pass 2 years ago, and she picked the
And she's in
3 times.
Massachusetts?
She's in Massachusetts, so whenever she comes down and goes to Orlando, we always get together and go to Disney. And 3 times a year is, I think, the magic number. Now she has managed to stretch that into 5, 6, 7. So
Oh, yeah. Okay. My hero.
I mean, and it makes me wonder why we haven't done this.
Oh, because I told you not to.
Oh.
How's that?
the price just keeps going up, though, Mike. I mean, really, Ruth would be saving you money if you bought the annual pass.
Okay, we've actually
now.
talked about that too, because there is that we were talking about the number that makes that right.
Right.
And, okay, so the one year that we are going to do this, Tim, we actually were in Disney Springs,
Okay.
and we had just booked, and we hadn't been to the park yet. We had booked the trip, and then we went to the customer service desk over there, and they wouldn't include what we were doing that trip into what we were going to do the rest of the year, and then all of a sudden it negated the fact that
What we had
it didn't make sense.
we had
at
heard that some
point.
some cast members will include future book trips into it when you buy it, and this one wouldn't.
Yeah.
I've heard that go both ways.
Yeah.
So
Depends on who you get, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
It depends
yeah.
on who you
Yeah.
get. It depends on whether they're willing to do it or not. So we Yes, and I think one year when I didn't have a pass, I tried to get them to include a couple days, and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
And every year, because the price does go up, we sit there like many people, because even for our Incredipass, it's still $1,000 plus a year, and we sit there right at midnight up until the day it's expiring, and we debate and complain about it and decide, are we really using it?
And then
what are we going to do? And then we just pull the trigger at 11:59 and end up signing up for another year anyway.
Right.
Even though I know 6 months in advance that we are likely going to do it. I will say that now that they put at least in state, the annual pass holders on a payment plan, that's really advantageous because you get a no interest loan for the money
great.
for a year. So that's actually pretty good.
So what kind of pros and cons are related to that? So are there any extra perks you get with being an annual pass holder?
I would say the biggest perk you get is, well, there's two really. I think it's the 20% discount on the merch. That's a pretty good one. And looking around here, I would say that 20% is worth a few dollars to you.
No doubt. Not lying.
You also get the early entrance into the parks if you stay at a Disney hotel from time to time. There's usually some different perks relative to that. But the one that I like the most that is super cool because they've become quite the collector's items are the magnets. So the pass holder magnets that they come out with, and they give them out a couple times a year depending on the park. There's 2 at Animal Kingdom right now. So we're going on Saturday to go get ours, amongst other things. But the back of our garage door has become Disney magnet palooza.
Okay, that is great.
With all the different magnets.
Okay.
And you see them around town. You have a tendency to see them, and you know, like, kind of which years were which magnets. And some are cooler than others. But yeah, those are kind of neat.
Isn't there a special lounge also that's only for annual pass holders?
I think that's D33.
No, I don't know about the one for pass. If there is,
I think there's one at Epcot that's only for annual pass holders.
There is one for DVC at Epcot.
Okay, maybe that's why I'm confused.
We can get into that.
We'll get into that in a second. Okay, now
that's phase 2 of today. Okay.
Now, as far as cons, blackout dates, right?
So we have a few blackout dates on our pass today. So, one of which is the week of Thanksgiving. I think there's about a couple weeks over the summer. And the one thing that is great and that I don't like about it is they have the photo pass, but that has now become an add-on option. So while you still pay $1,000 for your pass, it's another something like $300 for the photo pass for the year. That's no longer
for the year.
Whoa,
yes.
But it's not like per trip. But
no, it's not per trip.
Okay,
you can add it on as a
$200 or $300 for the year though.
Why
That's
didn't
not
you
bad.
know this?
Well, because you only have to have the annual pass to do it.
Oh, that's right. I wouldn't let you have one.
Right.
Damn
That's
it.
why I didn't know it.
Okay, this is my bad. Learning. Okay, so just kind of catching everybody up. So this is not annual pass and the DVC talk that we're having today. So this isn't just adulting at Disney. This is not a spiel to get them or not get them. It's more of, and literally for me, learning, trying to figure out where the pros and cons are of both of these programs, why, and as you said earlier, I don't know if you've ever been to a sit-down dinner. Like we were at the Jungle Skipper the other day, and they'll ask you at the end of the meal, are you a DVC? Are you an annual pass? It's very difficult for me. Okay, 12. I'm 12.
You get all sorts of discounts. They ask you at the end of every
and then the
meal.
last one, and the one that we do have is the Visa.
Disney Visa.
Disney Visa. And the D33 straight out. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right that I would pitch for it.
They don't give you discounts
but
for that. They
no
charge
discounts
you extra for that.
because you don't have to pay for anything. Because once you get that, you're already in debt, and they know you can't pay anything else after that. So it's all good. So anyway, that's kind of where this segment's going. Is not to tell you it's good, not to tell you it's bad. It's just kind of give you the information, and we're going to go from there.
We're just educating.
We're just educating Mike. How's that?
Educating Mike.
Okay.
So there was something that they did away with a couple years ago. You talk about the discounts.
Yeah.
So because you can't exactly stack discounts, and we were sitting in Nomad Lounge, which is one of my favorite.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, absolutely.
Ours too.
Places, and particularly being a Disney adult. And we were having cocktails one afternoon.
He said,
and he said, the bartender said to us, have you ever used Tables of Wonderland? And we said, what's that? And he said, most employees, most cast members know about it, but not everyone knows about it. And it was a flat 20% off of everything, including alcohol.
Yep.
All around the park. And this was great because I'd go into the Brown Derby and order a $200 bottle of wine and immediately get 20% off. And it was fantastic. And when COVID started, during the COVID years, they
cut it off.
They cut it all out. And I was so disappointed because we got our money's worth. I think one year I think I saved about $600. It was well worth it. And it was about $150 a year. And
that sounds like our Viking cruise where I bought all inclusive.
It was great. It was one of the best things that we had. And
it's gone?
They shut it down.
It's totally gone.
That's why I've never told you about it. They shut it down.
Because of people like me and Tim, apparently.
Because we know how to drink at Disney.
I know, right?
So, yes.
Okay.
Okay. So discounts.
Discounts are pros.
And
blackout dates are cons.
About 3 trips get you your money back on it. So if you go more than 3 times, it sounds good.
A little bit extra money if you live outside of Florida.
Yeah, absolutely, but still, it sounds like it's worth it to, especially for somebody like you and I. Because if I go ahead and pull the trigger, which I always do, go ahead and book it. Because if I say that right now, it's already done. And about 3 seconds later, if she can get hold of her phone, which she can't right now, she would already have it booked. But that being said,
Ruthie, you can borrow my phone.
There you go.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm an enabler. At the end of the day,
no doubt, man. We do have a trip already booked. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Undoubtedly,
yeah, with producer Reagan's parents. But again, going back to the adulting at Disney, and I think Tim's made a great point of this with your wife, as with my wife. There is a part of just say yes on the guy's part, just because that makes our relationship so much better. Because you don't
I am
even
not
think
going to say that because my wife is going to listen to this, and
she's
my wife already knows that I love Disney. So there is no way that bus is running over anyone here.
Here is my
on
take.
my side of the room.
Okay, here's my take on that, Tim. Here's my take on that. I was going to Disney because of the joy she had. Going to Disney, the tiers on Main Street, and I have worked my way into knowing osmosis, all of the best places to go, the talking to strangers, and listening to her give them the adulting experiences, the fireworks cruises, the Animal Kingdom safari things. And
you know what? I would not hesitate to say you've worked your way into your own joy, because before this last trip,
it's watching you.
I was, Tim, sorry to say, I was in a little bit of stress due to work before the last trip.
No.
And yes. And he was the one that at night was pumping me up going, we're about to go to Disney. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. You have your own joy for Disney at this point, and you cannot deny that.
I will not. Because
I'm with
Tim.
Toys, though?
Because some point
they actually are the same.
At some point with Tim, you're going to listen to this podcast, and I cannot say the wrong thing. So I'm just going to put that out there right now. I remember, and this is way before you. There was one week. I swear, this is kind of how this got this ball rolling. She was so stressed out from work. I swear it was honey, book it for this weekend. We're gone.
It was.
And she did.
He told me on a Monday, you need a Disney trip. Book it for this weekend.
Mm-hmm. We were gone.
Take next Monday off if you can.
Yeah.
And we'll go Friday night through Monday. Mm-hmm. And we did it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what led into this Disney stress relief. And I'm going to tell you, when you can find that spot for yourself or your spouse or you and your spouse together, I've tried to explain this to people. The more that you get involved with the experience, this is not a vacation.
This
is a trip. And
not that it's relaxing. It's just
not
fun.
relaxing. It's not for the weak of heart at all.
Yeah.
But once you get this down, it becomes addictive.
It's
in
great.
some cases. Okay, so
Okay, next
So let's
topic.
go.
Well, I would say that my wife and I, Disney is our love language, realistically.
Okay,
I love that.
I love that. Yeah,
Really, that is the big thing that we have in common. And similarly, we have a stressful week or we think we want to go do something and it's easy to pick up and go. Now, what I will say is the downside, one of the cons of being a pass holder when you work during the week is you're constantly going on a weekend.
Yeah.
And, I've been on a Tuesday, and if I could go every time on a Tuesday or Wednesday, it'd be fantastic.
Right. Weekends are much busier.
Weekends are crazy, but you also get to know exactly what you're going to do. So Saturday morning, you get up and you hit the safari, and you don't go to Epcot on Saturday, and you hit that Sunday night.
He's right.
You start to know the flow of
what the weekends look like.
What the weekends look like.
Yeah.
I mean, we were there on a Wednesday over the summer. First of all, it was brutally hot. Don't do that. That's even if you have the pass, don't like it. It was just so hot. But you tend to know what that flow is, and on a Tuesday or Wednesday, it's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Like you're like, well, where's this been? Where's this every weekend that I come? So,
right. And I hate to say this, but the crowds have been down, and we just went during the heat of the summer, and I'm going to tell you, so enjoyable being able to get through the parks.
Low crowds.
And it is something special.
Yeah.
Something special. Okay, so we made it through. So the pros, the pros to the
AP,
the annual pass is the availability at some point to just get up and say go, and you're good. And the other part of it is, if you don't use it, and the times that you can use it may not be conducive.
Right.
Here's the other. I would say this is both a pro and a con too. So, if you've ever had a vacation house or something along those lines that you do on a regular basis, you tend to feel obligated to go to that place when you've already paid for it.
Right.
So
Agreed. Yes.
People say, why do you go to Disney so much? Well, because I'm a cheap bastard. And what I do is I take the $1,000 and I divide it by the number of days that I went last year, and I figure out what my average cost is per day. I want that to be something manageable. So we go a lot. And it just so happens that we do enjoy it. And we have not, we've always enjoyed it and we'll continue to enjoy it. But you have that tendency to want to then go to wherever that place is. So most of the time, if we're like, hey, you want to get away for a weekend? Sure, we'll just go over to Disney and do something.
Yeah, I've already paid for it.
Yeah, it's already paid for.
Okay,
and I think that's the con that kept us away from getting it at some point, because we knew we couldn't get there.
Right.
And we weren't going to go that way.
Right.
Okay. All right. So
second
now,
topic, Disney Vacation Club, DVC. You may have heard this term, but first of all, tell us about Disney Vacation Club, what it means, how you get into it. Give us a quick spiel.
Okay, so Disney Vacation Club is Disney's version of a timeshare. There are perks to it. There are some great benefits to it. It's been around for a very long time. And we got into this in 2011, a few weeks before we got married, my wife Jill and I. It was phenomenal. It was we went and did the tour, and you get a gift, and we saw the whole thing, and it was it's a great way. Again, me being the finance person in the relationship, I was sold on the, hey, imagine how much rooms are going to be in 10 years and you're not paying all that much for it. And when rooms are $500, $600, $700, $800 a night, you've already paid for that 10 years ago.
So they sell it on, you've purchased this, so anytime you want to go, your room is there, you've paid for it.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's exactly how they're selling it. And they're selling it on I think Disney was one of the originators of doing this kind of point system, if you will. So
okay.
You get a number
can you
points.
explain that to me? Because
the points don't make sense to me.
Yeah, the point, we talked about this earlier offline, and you kept talking about the points, and I can't tell you the number of timeshares spiels that I've been through, and this is something that I'm trying to grasp and put my head around, the difference between a timeshare versus a Disney
points,
but it's still like their version of a timeshare, but
it is.
Different perks, different things that are going on. What are the points, and what do you get with those, and why is that important?
So just to back up a step, so we bought in 2011 the minimum amount that we could afford at the time. We bought 100 points, and that was what they sold.
Okay.
And that's how you bought it. You had to buy a number of points. And here's what they do. They put this book in front of you and they show you all the resorts that have DVC and the point values for different times of the year. So ideally on 100 points, we should be able to get about 5 nights a year, in some cases 6 nights a year, at the low points value. Now, my argument when we went in to look at this was, well, what stops DVC from just raising the point value so that eventually I only end up with 3 nights?
Okay.
And that is actually a real thing. So now,
Has that happened to you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think we can afford now maybe 4, maybe 5 nights. It's no longer
5 or 6.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So they start to
But
devalue a little.
but that's based on where you did. So you buy into like Saratoga Springs,
Yes.
and that's
my home resort.
That's your home resort, and you decide to go to, what was the other one?
Riviera.
Okay.
Your 100 points don't go as far as at Riviera.
That's right. Yes, that's exactly right. They go furthest at Old Key West because Old Key West and Saratoga are 2 of the oldest resorts.
So you can stay at different places that accept the DVC.
Yes.
That being said, I think even the new Polynesian,
The new Polynesian Tower.
you can go there, but then your points go diminished on in whether they take you or not. I think was one of the things at this place.
Well, whether you can get a
Whether
reservation.
you can even get a reservation, and there are blackout times because it's new and it's more upscale. But if you
yeah.
if you go in, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to wrap my head about when you said you bought in at the lower level and you were talking points, and I have not seen anything. And it was funny on my phone, which I'm looking right now, on my phone. Literally today, because we've been talking about this and the algorithms come up, I got an email.
Of course you did.
Literally today, before we were doing this podcast, with a ad for the DVC. And I'm like, seriously, I haven't, the phone listens and that's great. So I get this ad.
I got one on my work email today for
yeah,
DVC.
on your Solarics, right? Or, yeah, exactly.
On my work email for DVC.
And you're like, I didn't do anything.
Maybe Solarics and Disney are going to have a relationship
Seriously,
of some sort.
yes.
We haven't even told you about it yet. So
I hope I'm the
it's a
ambassador for
partnership.
that.
Okay, and
can make that happen.
And Tim, again, I'm not talking about where you came in or not, but on this email, it's like win a bonus cruise points or whatever it was, but then it gave me the number, and this is where you're saying points, and they're saying, I think it was 24,600 or something was your low side now, and then 60 something thousand was the high side, right? So tell me the difference between going in at one level to the other. Is it points again we're talking?
It's really the number of points that you would have to spend. And we'll get into the pros and cons of this.
Okay.
Because there are some pros to buying more points, and there are
that's what you're doing though, is you're buying points on
you're
that,
buying
right?
points.
Okay. That's
and
what
then
I was
you
confused
can use
about.
them. And realistically, the way that works is, if you ended up with 300 points, you could conceivably stay, what would that be? Something like, 15 nights a year or something.
Whoa. Okay,
it's a lot of
that's
nights.
a lot. Yeah.
So
that's a commitment right there.
It is a commitment in that in the price, the price ranges. So when when we got into this, we paid, I think, between $10,000 and $15,000, which seemed reasonable at the time. We had not looked at any other timeshares, but like I said, our love language is Disney. So
right, absolutely.
And I've told this story before. My wife Jill never asked me for anything, and we sat there at the table, and she said, "Hey, I think we need to do this." And I thought, this is a lifelong commitment with her, and we both love this, so let's buckle down and do it. So we bought in, and now I think the minimum is 150 points, just because they've tweaked those night numbers a little bit up. Now, the downside of this is it's not a timeshare that you own forever, is my understanding. You get it for blocks of 30, 40, 50 years, depending on how the contracts are written. Oof. And you get it for, so if you were to buy into the Polynesian Tower now, you'd probably get it for however long that contract is, 100% of that contract. If you buy in later and you buy direct from Disney, you get however many years are left. So I think we had something like 34, 35 years left on our contract, something like that.
Oof.
I forget how long it was, but you can gift it to your kids. You can
The
sell points
resale,
back,
right?
buy points. Yes, there's a whole secondary reseller
Secondary
market
resale. Okay.
that is phenomenal. And Disney got smart about this because Disney realized that people eventually wanted out of their DVC points and needed to sell them back for financial reasons, or they weren't using it,
Okay.
or whatever the case
Okay.
might be. So they'd sell them to this third-party timeshare company that would buy these things back and then resell them to other people. But there's a set of benefits that go when you buy directly from Disney that are no longer available to
Through the
every
resale.
DVC point holder any
Right.
longer. So that's the interesting part is they've tweaked the benefits a little bit, so
Okay.
you don't get the standard benefits if you buy it in the secondary market.
So,
But so you
somebody
can-
trying to get out.
You can actually get out of this timeshare. It's not like the other timeshares where you have to hire a lawyer to get out of.
You have to sell it to one of these companies.
You sell it to one of these
yes.
companies, but there is a way to do it.
There
Can you
is.
go straight to a person and say
You can, yes.
Oh, so
in fact, my wife had a friend that did that. So he was in receipt of 300 points, and he bought them for some amount of money from someone else. It's just
Okay.
as if though you're buying and selling any piece of property.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And that cuts out the middleman, so I'm sure you get more perks from that. But if you do a resale, I've heard that you don't get if you purchase
You don't have the
directly.
initial card, and you need the real card to get into the lounges, to get a lot of the
Interesting.
discounts,
Yes.
et cetera, right?
Yes. It's funny. I hadn't even looked at my real card.
My
in
brain's
several
about
years,
to blow up right
and I
now.
found it. I will say one of the biggest pros of DVC is going to Top of the World at
Contemporary,
at
right?
Contemporary.
And that's a villains themed lounge,
It's
right?
now a villains theme. You used to be able to get in with just your card, whether you were staying on property or not. Now you actually have to be staying on property, and you can only bring in so many guests. So they've kind of restricted that down a little bit.
Okay.
But to watch fireworks from up there,
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Like I'll give you. So there's a lot of people that like to do the monorail pub crawl,
Yeah.
and that is a great fun thing. And I've seen.
Disney.
What's that?
Adulting at Disney.
Yes. So we met this couple. We were sitting over at it was Meisner's before it was the Enchanted Rose, and we were sitting there having a
Great
drink.
place, by the way. Great place.
Yes, absolutely
Love
phenomenal.
It. Love it.
And we were sitting at the bar next to this couple, and we struck up a conversation with them, and they had these bingo cards. And they were part of a larger group that was drinking all around the monorail pub crawl, and they had one on their list. And I said, "Do you want to win?" I said, "Do you get something for winning the pub crawl?" And they said, "Well, no, but I'd be the envy of the group." I said, "Do you want to win?" And they said, "Yeah, how am I going to win?" I said, "Do you want to go up to Top of the World, and I'll get you in there, and let's go check this out."
Dang.
Now, little did I know
have to
at
know
the
something.
time, this couple, they were very young. They had not been married that long. He was a postal carrier in rural Vermont and had spent about 20 years in the military. And he was a disabled vet. And we were like, hold on. Okay, so we wanted to go and do this. And I bought their drinks that night. And we
Yes,
just
you
wanted to do
did.
something that
Aw.
was super, super fun for someone that never would have an opportunity to go
How
do
cool.
something like
See,
that. And
that's
they
a
couldn't have
Disney
been more
magic right there. This is
grateful.
Disney
It was
magic.
just unbelievable. Even just to spend the evening with them and hear stories
Yeah.
about their lives and see what they've done was super
That's
interesting.
super cool.
And they got to come up there and we had a blast that night. We spent I think 3 hours in there.
Super cool.
Shooting the breeze and having some drinks, and
That's awesome.
Then we watched fireworks up there because it's absolutely the best place to watch
Okay,
fireworks on.
so
property.
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna stop you. When you're doing a pub crawl and you spend that much time in one place, it's not a pub crawl anymore.
It ceases to become the pub
It
crawl.
ceases to
yes.
become the.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean you don't have a good time. It's
That's
just
right.
that's not the pub crawl.
But that's
Mike,
awesome.
Mike, what's your favorite place on the monorail pub crawl?
Okay, so if you're gonna go the monorail, I will go the Enchanted Rose is my favorite place to sit. I love the windows there. I love also what's the one on the Floridian on the water over there?
Narcoossee's.
Narcoossee's.
Narcoossee's sitting at the bar over there. That's really great.
We also love Trader Sam's.
traders.
Of course.
How do you not love Trader
Let me
Sam's?
tell you something. The slurring came out there with Trader Sam's. So we met up with some D33.
D23.
D23.
Not D33.
Wait, what is it? Oh, that's the other one. Yeah. With the coin. We met up with some other people there.
No,
They,
D3. They were D3 members.
they were
there.
D3. God bless
Disney Day
America.
Drinkers,
Disney Day Drinkers. We met
which
up with
we're
them.
now official members of.
Oh, you have to be.
Yeah,
God, we got the coin and everything.
got the coins and everything.
And anyway, between her and this other group that we met up
They
with.
started buying the things that you throw the cinnamon on, and they spark. And oh my gosh!
So let me tell you, Tim, it's not about the drinks because they are trash can punch type of drinks because you don't know what's in them and they're strong. I'm a vodka soda normally,
You and me both, my friend.
and just keep it where I know it. I know my limits. Anyway, you go in this place. The sky is raining. They're squirting water bottles on you. There is a theatrical in a place that's about this big. It's only this big, and
We waited
meet
3 hours
everybody.
to get in there.
So great place for a pub crawl because you're not going to stay there forever. I mean, you get the theatrics and everything like that. I will tell you, I think as far as pub crawls go, that's probably one of the better ones right there. The monorail one sucks. Okay, too long to get there.
No, Skyliner.
That's what I meant.
I haven't done the Skyliner.
Skyliner is
the
hard to do.
Skyliner sucks.
It's hard to get to
Yeah.
everything. If the
Yeah, the
Skyliner breaks
monorail is
down,
probably the best one because you got the Polynesian, you got the Floridian, you got the Cosmopolitan. I mean, you got a lot of places, there's so many places to hit. But if you go over to Epcot, I think it's just a given around the world, and it's not as fun.
Yeah,
it's more
I think everyone does around the
predictable.
world.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, if you're going to drink around the world, like everyone does it.
Yeah.
Now, there are a few hidden gems in Epcot, of course.
No,
We're not even talking. We're getting off track.
Yeah.
well,
We're
but I've seen
so
some fun
rabbit-holed
ones of doing Crescent Lake drinking around Crescent Lake. That's another fun one we can talk about. But that's another
Okay,
episode.
that's for another. You can
For
come back.
another
We can have
episode.
him back. Okay, yeah.
Back to DVC.
DVC. Okay.
Circle back.
Okay. So,
This is what happens at work. I always need someone to keep me on track. And
that's
you know,
Rizzy.
this is,
All right,
he
so
knows how to bring it back.
we talked DVC. We talked resale a little bit. Let's finish up because we're getting close to time on pros and cons of DVC. And first of all, would you do it again if you had it today? Were you buying DVC? Would you do it?
100%.
Yeah?
I absolutely would.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of great resorts that I wouldn't ordinarily probably have stayed at. And it kind of opens up that world of possibilities. So that's fantastic. I think you get the discounts. I will say the one thing at the resort, one of the biggest cons, and
Okay.
it is, I don't know about you guys, my wife and I like a king bed.
Yeah.
And it is damn near impossible to find a friggin' king bed in DVC.
Okay.
So you're staying in a queen.
Okay.
Like wherever you go, that's probably a downside of Disney all the way around because
Yeah.
a lot of those
It's hard to get a
hotels-
king
No,
bed.
no,
right?
no, my
hard
friend.
to get a king
The
bed.
toilet paper is the downside to Disney.
Okay,
Every
that's-
place. Okay.
that's fair too.
There's again my PSA right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
We always pack around toilet paper, but
I've not heard that before, but
Oh
okay.
yes, I do.
All right.
Oh
all right.
yes, I
So,
do. For if I don't have room in the suitcase, I go CVS or Walgreens or wherever, and I have got me my toilet
I'd love to know
paper.
that Ruthie's carrying around your dude wipes. So,
No, not dude
No, I
wipes.
do not dude wipe. I just need my Cottonelle. Listen, sidebar here. I'm just gonna go. I don't care if you're staying at a resort that is the lowest of the low.
it doesn't
or the
matter if you're at the
highest of
All
the
Star
high.
Sports or if you're at Riviera.
It
all
does
sucks.
not matter. It's
Toilet
the
paper sucks,
same
yeah.
freaking toilet paper. Okay, that's another episode. I got my problems with that. But I'm gonna say one of the things that people need to know, because I've heard this before, is so his home resort Saratoga, or what he bought into was Saratoga.
Yes.
Now when he goes to book a trip with the DVC, does it mean every time he's going to go to Saratoga?
So that's
Or
a great
or
question.
is it so? But you have a choice to go someplace else, but
do.
you're not guaranteed that, correct? And
You
your
do.
points
You get-
change.
Yeah, the points do change. You get more. You get a longer lead time if you book your home resort at Saratoga. So it's something like a.
But it's not always the same unit, right?
It's not always the same unit.
Okay,
Yeah, they're
okay.
different. You just get a room.
You just get okay.
And so you have like I think it's 9 months in advance to book at Saratoga. Where if you want to book somewhere else, you can only book 7 months in advance. And now what we have found, so this is again both a pro and a con. You can wait list. So if I want to go somewhere in March, I can put on the wait list to stay somewhere, whether let's say Wilderness Lodge, if I wanted to stay there.
Okay.
But there's no guarantee that ever comes up. So if I really have my heart set on going that particular weekend, I might end up buying my own room if I don't get my wait list.
But you're not going to miss out. You're going to get something. You may not get in the one that you requested, but you're still going to get. Oh.
No. If you're joining a wait list, that's part of the part of the issue.
Okay.
So that's why this requires a
Okay.
lot of planning in order to.
Okay, I got no problem with that.
Me neither. I'm with you. That is part of the planning that has to go into it. Is you want to make sure that you know where you're staying and when you're.
I mean, you could book another room and then cancel. I mean, you have as long as you're canceling within 30 days, you're fine. So you could book another room as a backup.
You're still going to go
if you don't,
the time you lie.
If you don't get on the wait list, if you get on the wait list within 30 days, you cancel. Otherwise, you got a room.
Okay.
And that's usually what we do is I'll book a room that I'm paying for and then get on the wait list. And then if I get my wait list, I cancel mine.
Right.
You still have your trip.
You still have your trip.
Still
good.
Okay.
So that is a pro and a con. The other con to DVC is you don't get the best rooms in the hotel.
You mentioned this the other day. Yeah, because I was talking about we had a boardwalk room with a boardwalk view.
Right.
DVC rooms, there aren't any facing the boardwalk.
Go like in the back,
They're on the back. Like when we went to Beach Club right after COVID and Beach Club had only opened up the DVC rooms and we're on the very back.
We're going back to anal again?
No, stop.
Okay. The backside of water. The eighth wonder of the world.
Backside of water.
Backside of water.
The rooms aren't necessarily the best views. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't care.
Right, because you're
who
sleeping
stays
there.
in their freaking room at Disney other than sleeping?
I don't spend a lot of time in the room.
Seriously.
So
right.
That's the best. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is a downside. If you're looking for that room with a view, you're not getting like fireworks view. You're not getting some of those.
Okay, the fireworks view is different.
Unless you're at Bay Lake.
Unless you're at Bay Lake.
Because Bay Lake, you can get the best views.
We did get upgraded to Bay Lake a couple years ago, and we had views of, I forget how this worked, like both sides. It was really crazy, but the views were tremendous at Bay Lake.
Bay Lake and Polynesian are the two where you can get really great views.
And I think I blew the entire wad of points on that one weekend at Bay Lake that weekend.
Blew his wad.
So.
All right, there we go.
Okay, other pros or cons that you want to finish out with?
Other pros or cons? No, so the lounges are great. There's
more discounts with DVC.
Yes, there's a discount. You can't stack the discounts, but you get another discount.
I think that's a great point because when they do ask you which one do you want to, is the DVC the biggest discount you get, or is the
AP?
It
Wait,
depends.
what?
I think
AP
in most places,
annual pass.
Oh yeah, the annual pass or your credit card one that we use. What is? Do they tell you which one it is, or do you know?
If you go into a restaurant or somewhere and say, "Listen, I have both," they'll just say, "Give me this one. That one has the best." Most of the time, it's 20% or 10% or whatever it is. They'll tell you.
Okay.
But most of the time, they're the same. So either way, it sounds like you guys might be annual pass holders or DVC members here coming up soon.
Honestly, I think the annual pass. She already almost had me on the annual pass at one point. And the number of times, because again, we've already got one booked this for a year. We go a minimum of 3, maybe 4. Well, okay, it depends on your mood. In my my eagerness to go ahead and say, okay, do it. But Merry Christmas. Let's do another one. Let's just say that
you haven't been to see the decorations yet. You got to go.
I have.
Okay.
The decorations were there when we went the last time.
Literally, yeah, we just got back like 2 weeks ago. But I will tell you, going through this all and listening to the pros and cons of it, which is one of the reasons we had you on tonight, because I have had so much information thrown at me, and it's really hard to make a determination. And I think it's about time. At this point, how many times, and where does the money come back on the not only the risk reward on being able to do it, not being able to do it, conflicting schedules and things like that, but at some point you got to go, I'm going to do this anyway.
Right.
So why not throw it out there and just give me that little extra bonus of what we're doing? Hey, Goose.
There's no financial reward, Mike. All the reward is right here in the time you get to spend with people and the things you get to do. But there's not there's sure little discounts here and there, and that's all great. But
It's
I don't
not-
see there being any sort of financial reward. It's a reward of the quality time you get to spend,
Well, okay.
unless you're walking around Epcot when the Beach Boys are there. So
No,
then
that
there's
was not
That's
a
next.
reward.
That's next
That was
episode.
not
That's
a reward
another
because we were
episode
there,
right there. So.
and that was horrible. That was the most miserable time we've ever had at
I
Epcot.
want to rant about this, and it's going to take me about 45 minutes.
That is our next episode.
So after listening to this, okay, to your point, maybe it's not a risk reward, but it's if I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to lose anything by doing it, not only financially, but trying to push myself above what I would normally spend just to make it work, and I'm already doing that. I think that especially with the annual pass, I think for us it's something that we're already doing. We're just not taking advantage of that, of already doing it. I know you've told me this many times.
Ruthie, I think Mike just talked his way into the.
I think
So-
she talked me into that one, but I'm
So
still
I-
up in the
I
air
just-
on the DVC. I really am. I don't, because we stay at, and I'll be totally upfront, and I won't say honest, because as a salesperson, if I'm saying I'm going to be honest with you, that means you lied in the past.
That's right.
So being upfront with you and all my viewers, all 10 of them, I love you guys. Just hang on. Maybe 12 now. I don't know. So when you put forth that one extra, it just means you're committing a little bit more, and you know that you're going to do that each time we go.
Yep.
And I think that's what we're falling into. It's the joy of the couples going in and being a little bit more present
Yeah.
and a little bit less stressed. And I'm going to tell you, I challenged her 2 trips ago. No rides. It was great. We had a great time.
Previous episode.
Episode.
If you haven't
If
watched
you haven't,
it.
yeah, go back
watch
and
it.
listen to it. So when you go multiple times, and I think Tim is, we've talked about this offline, was your priorities change and your adaptability changes, and your time there isn't as stressed or pushed, and you have to do everything. Now you get to pick and choose what you want to do, and it really makes that experience that okay. Put the rides back in. Do what you want to do, but you don't have to do all of them. And I'm going to tell you, rope dropping is great. But when you have a magician like Ruthie, where I don't stand in line for rides, and I don't ever not get to go where I want to go, because she's a master of the lightning lanes, and all, you are absolutely. It changes your whole. If you don't use a TripAdvisor, or you're not a regular, then I think you lose some of that ability to be flexible. So call her.
Magical Tripcations.
Go.
tripsbyruthie@gmail.com. I can help you out. I can make the magic
Absolutely.
happen to where you don't stand in line. I do want to say, number one, thank you, Tim, because I think we've talked my husband into we're going to at least become an annual pass holder, if not a DVC.
Thank you for having me.
And Tim, this has been so much fun. We've talked
fun.
about, since we've been working together, we've talked about doing the podcast. This has been a blast.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Fantastic, fun episode. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think about these. And
Yeah, and if you're already doing it, what's your pros and cons?
Yeah,
Let us know.
absolutely.
There's so many different takes on this, and like I said, everybody I've talked to, it just changes the dynamic based on what your enjoyment is on the parks.
Yep. And until next time, see you real soon.
There you go.